I've got three examples of zip Cyan that I'm going to explain. And if you're not familiar with it, zip Cyan is a indicator. It's a slower moving indicator than the zip green, and both the zip green and the zip Cyan track trades of buyers going in and out of the market. It's a unique way of identifying with what's transpiring as the market moves through cycles. The chart that I have is GILD, and it's Gilead Sciences. And I have three examples here in the red vertical lines, and each red vertical line is on, or at least this one is on the first day of the trade. The first day that zip Cyan is lowest, and I'm assuming that we would be able to pick up the normally what you end up doing is you would find a zip Cyan when it hits the scanner the first day. So the following morning you would be able to trade it, unless you happen to catch it the same day that it was down under, that it was there as the highest indicator. The basic rule of the zip Cyan is when it's highest and going down, price drops. When zip Cyan is lowest and going up, the price climbs. Zip Cyan, as I mentioned, moves slower than zip green, and it takes more power, takes more buyers or sellers to move zip Cyan than it does zip green. But as you can see here on the first example that I have, zip Cyan in this case was at 71, and your other indicators are at this point under it. You can see zip yellow has a low angle up, and so it's very likely that it would go down. I have just three charts up here right now, and that's the zip chart here on top, the power chart next to it, and the swing chart under that. Both the power chart and the swing chart have a triple top the day before this red vertical line. So in all likelihood, triple tops are usually trends. So there's typically a 3 to 5 day downtrend in this case, likely when we see a triple top. And as it turns out, that's exactly the way it did go there. As we can see, 4 days out, where I'll move this line over, 4 days out right here, zip Cyan is still highest, and it is at 23. But it's really close to the other lines, and you never know what's going to happen the following day. More than likely you would stay in the trade because it still is highest, and the following day, it closed here on this day at 77.92, opened the following day at 77.74, so it gapped down about 20 cents or so. But immediately on this day, it went down, looks like about 15-16 cents, and then came back up and closed higher at the end of the day. And so we probably would have gotten out shortly after the open in this particular case, because we would have identified, as in candle theory, that it was a green candle. Go on, first open, then going down, and then going up the rest of the day. But in any case, Zip Cyan, when it's highest and going down, is pretty much 100% pattern for us to use. I have two other examples that I'm going to show you, but they're unique examples in that they are not necessarily the highest. Now, there is, when you, let me explain one thing. When you have Zip Cyan and Zip Green together, if Zip Green is higher than Zip Cyan, in this case here on the left vertical line, they're both at 100. So we don't make the assumption that Zip Cyan is higher here. We would, in fact, because it's equal under the, when indicators are equal, we assume the favorable position as it indicates in the definitions. And in so assuming, we then have Zip Cyan highest. But in this particular case, we have 4 really strong down days that follow this Zip Cyan at 100. And even though Zip Cyan is not at, does not, the following day after this red vertical line is not highest, it is going down. And it can be a good way of making money, because when Zip Cyan goes down, even if it's going down through the indicators, it's still going down. And so we have here on the 4th day, Zip Cyan, actually on this day right here, the 3rd day after the red vertical line, Zip Cyan becomes the highest line on the Zip chart. And so then we would, at that point, we would say it's going to continue going down. We would hold it another day, which took a huge gap and a down, looks like about $10 or so, maybe even more. That's closing at 88, and the other one opened at 100 and closed at 97. So it was $9 from close to close. So now we're in here, we would carry it through another day, and on this day we end up with Zip Cyan no longer highest. We got a red candle, and at some point we would see that and get out. And so that's when Zip Cyan is no longer highest, that's the indication that you get out. And that may have occurred fairly soon. It definitely would have started when the candle started up. In this case, you have a candle with a long lower tail, so when it actually started up, I don't know, but when it did, Zip Red would have bounced above Zip Cyan, and that would have been the indication to sell. This one over here in the middle is different, and I wanted to address it because it's unique. And by that I mean you've got Zip Cyan at 87 and Zip Blue is at 91. Both red and Zip Gray and Zip Red are 91 and 92. So Zip Cyan is not the highest by any means, but it is on a peak. And because of what we have here with Zip Gray highest, we know that when Zip Gray is highest on a peak above Zip Red, that it's going to go down next day. So we have a red candle the next day. We're under the premise that we're following a Zip Cyan line down, but it is not the highest. And so we follow it for one day. It's a red candle. It's going down. We follow it for 2 days. We assume we're in that position. We got a doji green candle. It's still going down good. The next day it goes down decent. Or what looks like it's decent. So now we're out 3 days past the peak over here where Zip Cyan was was high, but it wasn't the highest. And what has happened is that the close here on the day where Zip Cyan was on the peak is only 90 cents higher than the close 3 days out. So what I'm trying to tell you is that the margins, the level at which price drops, it does not drop as quickly when Cyan is not the highest. And we can graphically see that by following Zip Yellow in this particular case, because Zip Cyan is going down for 3 days and Zip Yellow is basically climbing up, although it didn't climb up each day. And so Zip Yellow ends higher, Zip Cyan ends lower. The price is only about 90 cents apart. And so that's why the indication is that or the rule for Zip Cyan is when it's highest and going down, stay in the trade in a short position because the price is dropping. Now this particular one, based on that rule, we never even would have entered because it wasn't highest. But what I'm back to this one over on the left, what I'm trying to tell you is that when Zip Cyan is at 100, it's going to go down at some point. You just have to find the signal. And as you know, from if you've had a chance to visit the pink-green top videos, you know that in this particular case, we're in a 6 or 7 day pink-green top. The Zip Pink is constantly climbing, and Zip Cyan was at 100 4 days ago, right where the cursor is right now. And so Zip Cyan stayed at 400. We have the Zip Yellow in a high M pattern, and that's very indicative of a next day down. And so based on where the red vertical line is right now, we would make the assumption that the Zip Cyan would leave its position at 100 and go down, and as it does go down, price will go down. So again, what I'm trying to convey is that when it's at 100, it is going to go down. You just got to find the signal for when the pink-green pattern, pink-green top pattern is going to start its downtrend. And you can basically be following, or the premise is you're following the Zip Cyan line. So good examples on what the Zip Cyan does. It's a very effective pattern to short stocks, and Zip Cyan lowest and going up is a price up pattern. And again, that is a very effective pattern. That'll be on another video, but I hope I didn't confuse you on this one, because I was trying to give you a few ideas on how you can effectively trade Zip Cyan highest patterns. So check it out, verify what you're doing always. Use your trade logs. If you're not using trade logs, I really encourage you to do that, and have fun trading. It's an exciting system that we've got here. I hope you can see it, because it works absolutely great.